A company called BimmerTech makes a complete set of upgraded speakers for the E90 BMW, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to install them. So let's get started. So this is the complete Alpha 1 set from BimmerTech, and these are the subwoofers. They're the A90 subwoofers. These are A45 mid-range. These are A10 tweeters, and then these are A40 mid-range, along with two more tweeters. So this actually goes in the center console, or the center of the dashboard, up by the glass, and then these two go in the back of the car up by the rear glass. These go in the doors along with this. This is the front doors right here. So you got the whole set. I'm going to show you how to install just one side because the other side is exactly the same. BimmerTech also sent me out this neat little toolkit. I actually really like the pick that's in the toolkit. That's pretty cool. Obviously I have, so many of these other tools, but you can pick this up if you have no tools. This should contain everything that you need. But of course, I'm going to use some power tools in this video just to kind of speed things along. Hello from the future. I like to film these little scenes about what tools you're going to need to do the job after I do the job. That way I know exactly what to recommend. You will need a little plastic trim tool in order to remove the various trim items like the door cards and things like that. You'll need a 3mm Allen in order to bolt the mid-range speakers into the door cards. You'll need a T50 in order to get the seats out in order to do the subwoofers. You'll need either a stubby Phillips or a little Phillips on a bit driver set in order to do the mid-range speaker that's up on the console, up on the dash where the front windshield is. You'll need an 8mm in order to get the mid-range speakers out, the old mid-ranges out. And then you'll need like a long T20 in order to get the door cards out. And this is also just another Phillips driver that I used. And then I would recommend you get a pack of these little things for the door cards because they do break. And if they're broken, you will get some rattles. So they're very important for reducing rattles. And we're talking about sound and good audio here. So get a pack of these to replace them. In fact, I would even get the BMW genuine ones if they're affordable. This set that BimmerTech sent me actually does contain all the tools that you will need. It contains all of this stuff. So for instance, there's this little bit adapter thing right here, which kind of goes like that. And then boom, you've got a Phillips, just like that. It's a little bit longer, but it will totally work. And you also have you can use this to do a long T20 like this. You adapt that, and there's your T20, and that'll get the door cards out. So it actually does have everything that you're going to need. So I believe this is an extra $20 or something. I would add that to your order if you're missing any of these particular tools, because yeah, it'll save your butt. Let's get the hard part out of the way first. We have to do the subwoofer that's underneath both front seats. In order to do that, we actually need to unbolt the front seats, and we're just going to kind of move them to the side. So here, this is a T50. Now let's move the seat all the way forward so we can get at the bolts from the other side. And then we have two more in the back right here. All right, so before I do anything, I'm gonna remove this head piece, the headrest, excuse me. Let's put that guy aside. Now let's see if I can move this thing back a little. And I don't wanna mar up my back seat here, so I've got this little mat, floor mat, and that's what I'm gonna set that on. All right, we should have enough room to remove this cover. Just Phillips screws. All right, short screwdriver should take care of this. Okay, yeah, I got this. Well, that was easy. All right, these are T20 screws. That guy out. So to get this off, there's this little thing right here. You push that in, that pops it right out. Now we have our replacement speaker. Same connector, same everything. Goes like that. Make sure it's in, Slots right in. You know something, guys? The OEM speaker actually looks physically larger than the replacement Alpha 1 speaker. But we'll have to trust that they know what they're doing and that this speaker just has better bass response or something. All right, so let's get this back in. Get these all started. Done. So there was a little track that popped off. This goes up here. Oh yeah, it just pops over these. That's simple enough. Now these can go back on. All right, for the door, you might find some kind of plastic trim tool to be helpful here, although probably not super necessary at this point because this has been off before. Depends on if your thing's been off once before. So there we go. See, this little guy fell out for me and this pulled out of there for me, which is not that big a deal, but it is easier to get it in if you put them back. All right, so we have some bolts to get out. They are T20s, and it's helpful to have a long one like this. There should be one here. See, my car is not a virgin, and that one has been lost over time. So if your car is aversion to having its window regulator changed, then you might need one of these to slip back here and pop the rivets loose like this. In my case, it's helpful because I replace these rivets, which I recommend you do as well. So there, I'm gonna take this out before I lose it, because people always lose their bolts when they do this. We'll gently pull this back, pops off like that. And now in the back here, if I can show you, this popped out of the mid-range speaker up here. There's another connector which I will take out as well. This just pulls off like that. And then we have these connectors down here, which we're going to just disconnect because it's a little easier for me. I'm going to remove it like this. In order to do that, you just push down the center thing and then that slides off. And then this one is just a little thing that pops out. All right, let's change this speaker. They're 8mm nuts. So that one just pops right out. Here's our new one. Verify that's the A45. It's gonna go right there. And I think we need some spacers, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. That is what these are for. They give you different fasteners for these ones. We are going to need an Allen socket to put them in. So we have some spacers right here, and I think those spacers go a particular way. They have a little cavity on one side, I think. These ones have the cavity here. So that spacer goes in there, and then this goes like that. Yeah. Interesting system. And I did not bring an Allen socket. I'm gonna have to grab that. All right, 3mm Allen wrench. All right, so there's this connector and it very clearly says not to connect to the tweeter. It's got the amp side and the mid side. So that obviously goes down in over here, just like the old speaker. And the tweeter is probably going to connect to here again, just like the old speaker. And then this is going to connect to this guy over here. So to get at the tweeter, I believe we can just pull this back a little bit like that. Just pull that out. And we've got some foam here. So we're going to take out briefly. And there's our tweeter. And our tweeter, I believe, just pops right out like that. So here's the new Alpha 1 speaker, tweeter, unravel it. Okay, put that speaker, that new one, right in here. It's gonna clip in just the same, like that. Okay, so now we're gonna get our foam. There's a little slot in the foam right here for the wire to go into. So we're gonna do that. Cool. Now we can just put this back on. Snap, snap. Okay. Yep, that's how that goes. Let me show you what that was. So this is what that's supposed to look like right here on this side. If you're in doubt, just go look at the other side, which you have not taken apart yet. So guys, I recently learned something that I never knew. I've been doing this for so many years and pulling these door cards off to do window regulators and stuff, and I never realized that there was a difference between the white clip and the gray clip. I know how stupid this sounds now, but they look identical at first glance, but in fact they're not. The gray clip actually has a wider diameter. The hole that the gray clip goes into is a bigger hole than the white clip goes into. So if you have a gray clip where a white clip is supposed to be, it's going to break every time like this. And if you have a white clip where a gray clip is supposed to be, it's really not going to hold correctly. So I'm going to remove all these clips right now, and I'm going to show you where the white ones are supposed to go and where the gray ones are supposed to go. So as it turns out, it's really easy. The gray ones go on the first 4 on the front of the door card, and the rear 5 are the white ones right along here. This is actually a really important part of your stereo upgrade because if you do this incorrectly, your door panel is probably going to rattle and buzz, and you don't want that. We're installing some high-end speakers, so you want it to be you want to do it the right way. So let's get this back on the car. It's going to go easier now that we have the clips in the right spots. All right, guys, to reinstall the door card, we are going to plug the tweeter into the new Alpha 1 speaker. Alpha 1 speaker gets plugged into here, like that. Put this one back in. And so this bottom one, I find it easier to pop the light out like this, and then put this cord through the hole, and then plug it in, and then pop the light back in. It's typically a lot easier to do it that way. All right, so now you get your get this thing for the door handle. You got to push the handle closed and hold it that way, and then this thing just clips right in and just pushes down. And then don't forget this thing. It usually falls down like that. Don't forget to put it, upright, and then place it through the hole where it goes. And then all we have to do is put this thing back on, and you want to just get the clips, get them in the right spots, right? You can kind of make sure that they are aligned, going in the right holes. Looks like I've got them in the right spots here. You should be able to just push and pop them in for the most part. In a few cases, a slight tap will get them in. But don't start banging on them until you are sure that they are pushed in. Pushed in those holes. I think that really weird noise was an electric car pulling into my neighbor's driveway. Never heard that before. It's a new world, man. All right, my 2 bolts go back in right here. Here and here. Unfortunately, I can't put my 3rd bolt in right here because the thing that it screws into is not there anymore. So finally, I needed to replace one of these clips here because it kind of came loose and came out. So pop that in. This one right here, the underside is broken for me, so this one tends to pop out. So my thing never sort of holds correctly. You start at this end because it has this little catch like that, and you never want to start pulling it at this end either, which it's unfortunately they did it that way because that's always, I think, at least it's my instinct. So I don't know if it's everybody else's instinct, but start putting these in like that, and we are done. The back doors should be very similar. I'm not sure which side of this thing we should take out first. I don't think I've ever taken this out, so why don't we see, and it's going to be this side should pop out first. This side has a little clip, so don't pull it from that end. So we got one bolt here, one here, and we may have one here. I'm gonna see, I'm guessing we do, and that this needs to pop out. Yes, absolutely, we have one up here. That is usually a thing with BMW door cards. Usually if there's a little arm, there might be a bolt hidden behind it. Not always. Same thing. Pop those out. Very similar situation to the front. Pop that off, and this one, that just pulls. So this is all identical to the front. Same speaker, same everything. So again, the little spacers that have the area inside them for these little sleeves to fit down into, yeah, those go down first. So there's 3 of those that are different. The Alpha 1 speaker, it only goes on in a certain orientation. So quick note about the clips on this door panel. They are all supposed to be white except for this one right here, which is supposed to be brown and shorter because the place where it connects to on the door is actually shorter. If you use a white clip, it's just, you're not going to be able to snap this one on and this one on. And I don't have a replacement one for that, so I'm just not going to use it. All right, can reconnect our speaker here and the door switch and the handle. And it goes on, test the handle. Don't forget this thing. I've replaced my clips already. Okay. See, you can sort of pop them on just with pressure. So it's probably better not to hit them. And then if you find they're not going in, reach around and try to reposition them. We're done with that? All right, let's try to pop this piece of trim out without damaging it. Depending on how old your car is, you know, you may or may not be able to do that. So just be prepared. If it is damaged, you know, if it doesn't clip in all the way, you might find that you have some rattling problems. So I'm just trying to be super ginger with this. And I ended up breaking 2 of the clips on the sides. There's just no way, no other way to do it. And it's not something where you can get at it from underneath. It shouldn't be too bad. This 2 sides broke off, but I have these under here and here. So there should be nothing to rattle against, really. You know, it's all soft padding, so at least there's that. But that's what happened in my case. So just so you know, maybe if you want to go ahead and push something down right here like that on the side and about right there on the side, that'll help you out. So again, clips that are very similar to this and this. So you just gotta push a tool down, one on either edge there, and then right about there and there. Hope that helps. All right, 8 mils. So again, the tweeter connects in to the mid. All right, let's put the tweeter in. Get the wire across. So that tweeter should be positioned so that it's in this shape so that the sound is coming out that way. Now we have our two connections. So the tweeter goes into the speaker, and then I have that harness that connects into the original harness. These are obviously just crossovers to cut the frequencies and stuff. Boom. Very nice. And that is it. Just put this right back in and we're good. All right, this center speaker should be very similar, and I'm expecting to break something here as well. I wish I knew exactly where the things were. Feels like maybe there's one right here. You know? I think that's a good way to go, is feel where the depression is, which I can't really. Okay, it popped something out there. Popped something out there. Feels like there's more here, which I don't know if I'll be able to get to. I can see them. I can see I broke one thing. Okay. There was one thing here that I broke. So it was a little clip here, unfortunately, but that's all right. Got out of it with relatively little damage. Sometimes there's no choice. These look like Phillips screws. And you know, what I really need is a bit driver. Time to use this SunX bit driver set. Good set, comes in real handy. You got your little bit driver and you can stick like your little Phillips into it. I should have used this when I was doing the subwoofer. See? Perfect. I think, if I'm not wrong, this is a little piece of sticky thing. Yeah, so if you want to remove that and stick this down somewhere so it doesn't rattle, you can do that. I don't know if there's any place for that under here though. It's probably more meant for the doors. Cool. All right, that should be good. So that's it for the install, guys. The passenger side went exactly the same as the driver's side. The only difference is that on the front door, there is a fourth bolt inside the little handle, just like on the rear door. You know how we had to take that piece of trim off on the rear door? There's a fourth bolt right there, but you know exactly how to do it. It's the same as the rear door. So that's it. If you're interested in one of these systems, you can look for links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more. I'm the 50s Kid. Thanks a lot for watching.